Let me share a little story from a few months ago at Swiggy. A moment that could have been a disaster but ended up being one of those unforgettable experiences. It was a high-stakes review meeting where I was presenting designs for an important project. The room was packed with all the top bosses, including our CEO, and I was doing the design walkthrough of the progress. Everything was going smoothly until midway through my presentation, the CEO suddenly asked to see a specific variant, a screen that he had mentioned in one of the previous discussions. I remember the discussion quite clearly. I scrolled through the Figma file that I was presenting, but the screen was not there. I got a little nervous, but I maintained my cool and I asked for a minute to dig into a different file and get it. And while I started my search, the rest of the people in the room got into another related discussion, thankfully buying me a bit of time. I started flipping through our working files like a madman, but I couldn't find the screen he was asking about. And then it hit me, we actually never made that screen. There had been so many Figma comment threads and Slack discussions about it that it somehow slipped through the cracks and I could literally feel my legs trembling. But then I took a deep breath and told myself all is well. Without missing a beat, I decided to create that screen right there on the spot on Figma. Now the screen wasn't a very complex one. It was the thinking and the strategy behind it that were crucial. Luckily, the parallel conversation that the folks had started dragged on for another 3 to 4 minutes. I took advantage of every second and managed to whip out the design just in time. Right after the discussion, all the eyes were again back on me. I casually presented the freshly designed screen as if it had been there all the way long. The CEO looked at it, gave his feedback, and the rest of the meeting continued without any problem. Now this was a very close shave and not at all desirable. Sure, I managed to save the day, but it could have been a very embarrassing situation. That day, I understood the importance of having a checklist or a to-do list, especially before important meetings like this, if not always. Nope, I'm not being a productivity guru here. I'm just sharing my story of how I learned something the hard way so that you don't have to go through such a situation. I'll also share about an automation tool called make.com. It has been a game changer for me in automating many of these checklist tasks and other organizational activities. It handles most of the time-consuming secondary tasks, helping me to work more efficiently and boost productivity. It can integrate several softwares and tools that you use on your daily life like Gmail, Google Calendar, Slack, Notion, including Figma. And I'll show you how to set it up later in the video, so make sure you watch this video till the end. A few months ago, if you had asked me about to-do lists, I would probably have said something like, I don't have to-do lists, I have goals. Well, I still have my goals, but I have also come to realize just how crucial this to-do list can be effectively reaching those goals. Now you might be thinking,
a to-do list? Really? You're making a video on to-do list?
But stick with me because you will find all these very relatable. Let us do a quick retrospection around why I got into that situation that I had faced in that meeting with my CEO. You see, feedback comes from various sources. Figma comments to Slack messages to emails to feedback shared verbally in person over a cup of coffee. Every feedback is important, especially when it comes from important and knowledgeable people. While I actively listened to and discussed all the feedback with the respective stakeholders, without a centralized checklist, a clear set of tasks to complete before calling it done, I ended up missing one. I'm only a human after all. That's when I decided to give to-do lists a real shot. I found that digital to-do apps like Google Tasks worked the best for me because it could sync across all my devices. The next big challenge was figuring out what to put on the to-do list. Completing a task effectively as a designer involves many steps like incorporating feedback, adjusting flows, tweaking fonts, refining visuals, or even things beyond design like waking up on time or staying hydrated to keep my brain working. I try to put all these things on my to-do list. Adding tasks to a to-do list from a Slack or an in-person discussion was relatively easy because they happened in real time, one thing at a time, and I could jot them down right after that. The bigger challenge came with Figma comments and emails, which were often asynchronous. I would be away. When I returned, I would find flood of feedback scattered across different places, making it overwhelming to track everything. That's when I discovered that I could automate parts of my to-do list using make.com. They have tons of tools available verified by Make that you can use to design custom automations. It's like an automation hub for the entire internet. I was pleasantly surprised to see Figma on their list, and it offered a solution to one of my biggest problems, the same one that landed me in a tricky situation during my meeting with the CEO. With Make, I could set up an automation to add an entry on my to-do list every time someone left a comment on specific Figma file. This was game changing. Figma is also a verified app with Make, and I can do tons of things with it, like making an API call, posting a comment, listing comments, file versions, project files, projects, and so on. And this entire interface for designing an automation, which they refer to as scenarios within Make, is very intuitive. There's no clutter or unwanted elements. You start with a blank screen with a big plus button. Let me show you how to do it. So here I am on make.com, and I will go to the scenarios tab. Now scenarios are nothing but the names of the automation. I mean, Make calls automations as scenarios, right? That's their terminology. And these are nothing but all the automations which I have made, right? So these are some of the things that I have made in the past. And this integration Figma with Google Tasks is the one which I've already tried, of course. That's why you see it there. We will make it from the scratch and teach you how to do it. This is going to be a lifesaver, trust me, right? To create a new scenario, we'll have to go and create this big purple button that you see on the top. It says create new scenario. So I'm just going to click on that. And the moment you click, we land onto that, the empty clean screen that I was talking about with one big plus button, which is nothing but add. And it by default opens up the sheet. Okay. So this is how it is. So I can click on it, and it's a long list of all the apps and services that you can imagine in this whole world. Like, it's literally a very, very long list. You see how many times I scrolled, it is still somewhere, 20 or 25% the seek bar that you see out there. So it has tons and tons of tools. You just name it and you will probably find it, right? But we need right now Figma. So let's go ahead and search for Figma in this search bar. Figma. So there it is. It says Figma is a verified app, like I had told you, and these are the different operations that we can do using the Figma integration that Make has done here. What we need right now is list comments. Essentially, list comments in a particular file. I mean, collect all of them and list them, right? That's what list comments mean. That's what we need out here. So I'll click on list comments. Okay, and the moment I do, it just adds that Figma circle in between. This will remind you of, some of the mind maps that we make using various other design tools, right? You create links between two different cards and you write a few things inside. It is very similar, just that here, each of these cards is a function, right? In this case, it's Figma. All right, so I've added Figma, and the moment you do, it opens up this, this small window where you can edit, right? I can close it, and I can again open it by just clicking on it. This is the edit window for this Figma function that we have added. First and foremost thing, you'll have to connect your account, right? In which account you're talking about, right? In my case, I'm doing it with my personal account because this is for demonstration. So I've added my personal email ID, the Figma associated with it. It's very simple. You click on it, it'll ask you to log in once, and you log in and it's added, right? So my account is already added. If you see, it is Figma personal account is the name that I had given, and there it is. Now, next is asking for something called file ID. What the hell is file ID? Well, file ID is a simple thing. I'll show you. It's not the link, but it is a part of the link of that file. For example, I have a dummy Figma file here. Here it is. So this is a dummy Figma file. It's a sample UI kit which I was making. To find the file ID, let me show you something, right? What you need to do is just go to share and copy the link. And when you copy the link, you can just paste it here itself because, we'll be extracting something out here. This is how your link looks like, right? This is the link of your Figma file. Now you will see it says figma.com/design/. And after this design slash, you'll see this alphanumeric sort of a thing out here. Up to, up till the next slash, beyond which it shows the name of the file and so on. This thing, which is between these two slashes, between design and the name of the file, this thing is nothing but the file ID. So we'll just copy this thing. We'll go back to Make. We'll use this thing once more. It's very interesting. I'll show you, and come and paste the file ID here, right? So you see, all that it needs is your Figma account and the file ID, and that particular file gets connected to it, right? And there's also something called limit. Limit is nothing but the number of results it will fetch every time this function is run, okay? So don't much worry about it. For now, the default value is 10, so let it be 10. So every time, it's like, a kind of an API hit that happens. If you're a developer, you will know what all those things are. But if you don't understand it, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. After a certain frequency, it is going to keep hitting and looking for if there are new comments on Figma. So every time it hits, how many would it fetch? So 10 is the number. So that's what it is. You can set the limit. You can make it 100, you can make it 50, whatever, right? I'll keep it 10 and I'll click OK. That's all. I'm done with the Figma module. Next, I want to connect it with my to-do list tool. To do that, you will see there's a plus. This is like an empty space. It's like a web. You can do whatever you want with it. Now here you will see there is add another module when you hover over there. So I'm going to do that. I'll click on it, and another plus kind of opens up. You see two bubbles connected by this dotted line, and here I can find the next tool that I want. So I'm looking for a to-do list, and my preferred pick of to-do list is Google Tasks. Okay, so I'll click Google Tasks. I mean, when I select it, when I search for it, this is also a verified app by Make, and here I need to create a task. It's like it will list the comments from Figma, it will fetch them, and using that, it is going to create a task for me, right? I'm automating the task of creating it so that I can look into the task and my checklist or my to-do list is ready with me. So I'm going to click on create a task, right? There it is. The window has opened up. We'll come there, but before that, I want to show you another thing. All right, so here I have Google Tasks open, right? So this is just an interface of how Google Tasks as a software or the tool is on web. It opens as a part of Google Calendar, and I use Google Calendar a lot. So that's why Google Tasks make a lot of sense for me. So you might want to choose something else, but if you do not use any tool yet, I can highly recommend Google Tasks. It's a good tool. So there are two buckets that I've created. You can create as many buckets as you want out here. So right now I have one called personal, and this has seen two of the unfinished tasks. These are some of the reels that I need to shoot. So they are out here. And I have another group. It's called Saptarshi's list. Right now it is empty. So what I'll do is I'll fetch all the Figma comments of that ride hailing UI app that I have into this list. Okay, so I'm just showing you, see, this is empty, right? Now I'll go to Make once again, and here Google Task, if you remember, we had added that as a module out here. Now, first of all, it is asking me for my account, just like it had asked for Figma. So I'm again connected with my personal account, which is my Gmail ID. I will click on it and it is connected. Next, it asks for what is the task list ID. Now here you don't have to type any fancy number like the way you did on Figma. Everything is here in this drop down. The fact that you've connected your account, it understands what are the different lists that you have, and you can pick whichever you want. I can pick the personal or Saptarshi's list. I don't want to mess up with the personal one with all Figma comments in this. Even for the demonstration, I'm go ahead and pick Saptarshi's list. In fact, you can create one list for every file that you're actively working at present. Okay. And the next thing is select method is create a task. I want to create a task. I can even choose to create a subtask, but I want task as of now. Next thing is title. Now this title is nothing but the task itself, right? Now here, when you click on it, it shows some probably scary thing that you see out here, right? Don't worry about it. All of these will start making sense very soon, right? Now all that we need out here is the message. Okay, so here are the different things, the data that this thing is fetching from Figma, and what you want to populate here is the choice that you make. We'll do some trial and error out here until we get the perfect output that we want. Okay, so let's go ahead and click message. This message is nothing but the comment that you add on Figma. All these will start making sense. So let me go ahead and click message. Let's just keep the message and do nothing for now. We will come and make edits later. Okay. That's it, as simple as that. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. My automation is actually made, right? I haven't turned it on. Like once I turn it on, if you see this thing out here, there's a toggle. If I turn it on, it is like always on and it is already scanning for new comments out there. But I haven't turned it on yet. I can do a run once since I'm still testing that automation, right? All right, so my automation is ready. Now what I'll do is I'll just go to this Figma file and I will start adding some comments out here, right? Maybe, just some random stuff, maybe I'll say that, okay, icon is not aligned with the text. Okay, I added a comment. Okay, let's add a few more of them. Okay, maybe this one. Why is this icon enclosed in a circle? Okay, so yeah, maybe this is another comment that I've added, and let's add a few other comments here. Okay, maybe we need to unify all the tabs that we have in our system. Okay, that is another one, and let me just add another fourth one. Okay, maybe let's just say that we need to have colored cars here. Okay, I just added 4 random comments out there. Okay, now if you go to tasks, you'll see it is not here yet. Why it is not here? Because as you remember, I had not turned it on. If I turn it on, yes, it'll automatically detect the comments and immediately bring it here. But like I said, we are still testing the automation. So I've added the comments. We will run it once. You see this button out here? I'll click run once. Yes, when I do, you see it shows up green ticks out here. It shows 1 and 4, means it has run for one time, the Figma one, and it fetched 4 comments. That's what it means. Now if I go to my task, you will see, yes, all the comments are here. Icon is not aligned with the text. Why is this icon enclosed in a circle? All the 4 that I had just added, right? Now this works, but the thing is, hey, like which icon are you talking about, you know, and who has given the comment? None of this information is out here. So although it is functionally working, but we need to add a few more things out here, right? So let's go ahead and edit them. So, you know, I will just delete this task so that, you know, we have a clean slate once again, and then we'll go and modify it. So I'm back here on make. If you remember here, when we were making this title, we just put message here. We just put message here, which is nothing but the text itself, right? So what we'll do is we'll add a few more things out here. This is a plain text. You know, you can type anything that you want and it'll come, right? Now, if you type just whatever you want, that's a static text, but you want the dynamic text in the comment to get fetched, right? So we need the message for sure, like I removed it. This message we definitely need, but before the message, we also need whoever the sender of this message is, right? So which is nothing but, you would see now that it has run once, it has populated some of the data out here, right? So I need the handle of the person who has posted. In this case, it was me. So I'll click on handle. So when I click on handle and after the message, now what it will do is it will show Saptarshi Prakash or whoever the poster of the comment is, followed by the message, right? And between these two, I can have a colon or something. Maybe I'll have a colon and I'll also move it to the next line. So it's like Saptarshi Prakash colon followed by the comment that Saptarshi Prakash has put, right? But in addition to that, I would also want to add the link so that, okay, I see the comment, and to resolve it, if I click on that link, it will immediately take me to Figma wherever that comment is, so that all those things are in a list with me in the to-do list. And I also have the link so that I can quickly go and act. So it almost becomes like a ticket that I can assign to my teams as well. I can tell my team that, hey, you know what? Those 5 things, please go and fix them if I want, right? So that's what we need, right? Now, in this regard, we will go to Figma and check a few things, right? Let us understand what the structure of a comment is. For that, I'll pick any of the comment, this, and I will go here and copy the link of this comment. Okay, I'll copy the link and I will paste the link. Okay, now if you remember, this was the link of the top one was the link of my file. This one is the link of a comment. Now let us understand what the structure of this comment is. Okay, it's same. It starts with figma.com/design/ followed by our file name. Okay, followed by our the file ID. Okay, till here is the file ID up to DK, and after that there's a question mark, node, and node ID equal to. After that, this is nothing but a node ID. Now, what is node ID? Don't worry about it. Okay, followed by this is nothing but the comment ID. Okay, this is the identifier of what comment it is, and this node is nothing but the position where you have put that pin to write the comment. That's what node ID essentially means. Now we'll just have to put this link out there, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Till this, up to this slash, it is the common link for every comment. If you want to see, if you want to see how it changes in other comments, let me show you 1 or 2 more comments so that you know that what are the common parts and what are the not common parts. Okay, this is another comment. Let me copy the link of this one and I will put it here. Okay, there you go. This is another comment. You will see till here, it's all the same. It's the link followed by that file ID followed by the node ID, and this node ID is different. See, 116-5575 is 1, 272-3839, that is the node ID, and of course this is the comment ID, which is also different, right? So we will do the same thing. So I'll just copy this part, that is this. I'll copy this and I will go to make, and here after the message, I'll go to 1 more line and I will paste this because this is common part of my link. Now I need the file ID, which is nothing but file key. I will keep this. And after this, I need this question mark node ID equal to. So I'll copy this part, that is also a part of the link, and I will paste it here. And after this, I need the node ID. If you see this 272, this thing is nothing but the node ID. So I will go and pick the node ID from here, which is this, right? I'll click on node ID, and after node ID, I have a hashtag followed by the comment ID as you see in this link. I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to put a hashtag here and go ahead and put the comment ID, which is this, right? So this is the structure of the message that is going to come, which means all the things which are inside this black boxes are dynamic content. It will change based on whatever the comment is, whoever the poster is, and everything that is in simple text are nothing but the static part. You see, that's how we constructed this link with some static and some dynamic things so that the link is the relevant link every single time, right? So now what we should get if everything is working fine is first the name of the person who has posted the comment, followed by the comment itself, followed by the link clicking on which will open up that comment on Figma directly. Okay. Let's see if it works or not. I'll click OK. Okay. And let's go and see in tasks. Nothing is here. I'll go back to make and click run once. It is running. I hope it works. It's done. Let's go to tasks. Okay. Here we have it. Here we have it. You see, it shows my name, Saptarshi Prakash. Oops, sorry. And it shows the comment. Icon is not aligned to the text. Why is the icon enclosed in a circle? We need to unify all these tabs, all the comments that I had added, if you remember, followed by these links that we constructed using static and dynamic elements. Okay, so let's go and see if this link actually works, right? So for this one, let's see why is this icon enclosed in a circle. Let's click on this link and see if it opens the correct one. Okay, fingers crossed. Yes, it did. Why is this icon enclosed in a circle? Okay, so I'll just close it and go back to my browser and just go to tasks once again. Let's try one more. We need to have colored cars here. Let me click on this link out here and see if it opens the correct one. There it is. It opened the correct one. It says we need to have colored cars here. So there you get it. So every time someone comments, you have it on your Google Tasks. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just go and turn on schedule. Right now it is working everything in real time. The moment anyone drops a new comment, it is going to create a new task here. Okay, somehow it is showing my old tasks once again, even though I had deleted them. Yeah, there you go. And there are my comments out here. So using this, you not only collate everything, but also make it very actionable because you know who has posted the comment. And also you can click on that link and go to that particular comment to resolve it. And it just works. Now that I use the to-do list for my projects, things aren't magically perfect, but they are definitely much better than before. I feel more confident as a designer and a presenter, knowing I won't miss important screen or use cases, only to realize it at the last moment during a presentation. No more designing on the fly during meetings or pulling all-nighters. I break down the projects into smaller tasks, add them to my to-do list, and automatically gather all the Figma comments into the same list using make.com. It's a game changer. Oh, and did I mention that you can integrate ChatGPT directly into your automation recipes on make.com? I set up an automation where I use a Google form to gather suggestions for Instagram Reel topics. These responses are then fed into a Google Sheet, which I connect to ChatGPT, which then writes a script for the reel on the topic and sends an email to my script writer, who then refines it with me. All these things from an idea gathered from a Google form all the way to the script for the video, completely automated without me having to do anything at all. Yup. Make.com can be as powerful as your creativity allows. They even have a bunch of ready-made recipes and templates you can pick, tweak, and make work for you. Don't forget to try it out. You can create some magic with it that will make your life a whole lot easier. I can't stress enough how much simple to-do list has improved my life. It has helped me become more productive, reliable, and less stressed. No more missed deadlines or forgotten commitments. If you're not already using a to-do list, I highly recommend giving it a try. Start small, jot down a few tasks for tomorrow and see how it feels. You might be surprised at how much it helps. Thanks to make.com, there are hundreds if not thousands different types of templates with different ways in which you can create automation in your applications and become a more efficient professional. Check the link on my description to learn about their plans in detail, and while you're at it, there's a promo code too that you can use for 1 month free of the Pro plan with 10,000 operations per month. Until next time, stay organized, keep creating. This is Sapta. See you all in the next one.